The tension in the air was so thick, you could cut it with a knife. Both the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom wanted the land that was between them. And war was imminent. Relations had totally broken down. So much that the northern kingdom stationed troops along its southern border, knowing that an attack was coming any day now. Then the unfathomable happened. Hannibal, the Carthaginian general, attacked Rome from the north. Now, in order to do so, he had to first cross the Alps. Nobody crossed the Alps. Many people have tried, and many people have died trying. But not only did Hannibal cross the Alps, he came with thousands of soldiers mounted upon thousands of monstrous war beasts. We know them as elephants. But you have to understand, elephants are native to Africa and Asia. Rome being in Europe, many Romans had probably never even seen elephants before. And these elephants were trained to stomp everything in their sight. Gentle giants they were not. And imagine the fear in the hearts of these Roman men when they saw these huge, monstrous beasts coming at them. Imagine the fear in their horses. When I was a kid, I grew up, we had a dog named Fritz, coolest dog in the world. One day we went to the beach with Fritz, we took him to the beach, and a policeman showed up, mounted on a horse. I had never seen Fritz so scared before nor since. He was shaking the whole time. He looked at that horse and he just kept trembling and whimpering like I'd never seen him before. I'm sure he was thinking, oh my goodness, that is some kind of monster that's gonna eat me in 3 gulps. And so I imagine what the horses thought the first time they saw war elephants. I imagine the same thing. Now soldiers, they're trained to face their fears even to the death. So many of them probably were like, giddy up, let's go. Probably like the Bible talks about the Philistines. When they heard the shout in Israel's camp, they said, uh-oh, the God of Israel has shown up. And he's the one that defeated the Egyptians. But let's go and fight and die like men. That's how soldiers are, that they're trained to face their fears to the death. So some of the Roman soldiers, I'm sure, were just like that, but like, let's go, giddy up. But the horses were like, and wanted to run and hide. Yet, Rome won that war. Rome defeated Carthage. And when I first read about this, I was thinking, but how? I mean, Carthage had a superior army with superior weapons and the element of surprise, and yet Rome still won. And I couldn't help but wonder, but how? And it turns out it was 2 things: deceit and perseverance. Perseverance. Basically, Rome backed up, but they didn't give up. They went into hiding, and they would come out with sneak attacks and then go back into hiding. And then they continued doing that, and they dragged out the war much longer than Hannibal thought it would take. Hannibal thought he was just going to come in with these big old elephants, stomp his way all the way to Rome and just crush the Roman army. He didn't realize how tricky they were. And they used trickery. And after a while, those huge monster war beasts got hungry. Those mighty men of valor got hungry. And they didn't have enough food. They weren't expecting it to take a long time. They didn't pack enough sandwiches. They didn't pack enough peanuts. Next thing you know, those huge beasts were more like, because they were hungry. Those mighty men of valor were like, oh, because they were hungry. And they were weakened. And once Carthage's army was weakened, Rome attacked Carthage. And Hannibal had to return to Carthage, but he couldn't do so going through Rome and going through the south of Italy, because that's where the Roman army was, and they had food, and they were strong. He had to go back across the Alps, back across the Pyrenees Mountains, back through Spain, back across the Strait of Gibraltar. By the time he got back to Carthage in North Africa, it was over. It was too late. Rome had destroyed the city and destroyed the kingdom. we find ourselves in a very similar situation. We have superior armor than the weapons of our enemy. Yet, the devil destroys Christians every day. We have superior weapons than the devil's weapons. Yet, the devil destroys Christians every day. We have an invincible, almighty ally. Yet, the devil destroys Christians every day. The Bible says that the weapons of our warfare are mighty to the pulling down of strongholds and to the casting down of every high thing that would exalt itself against the knowledge of God. Yet the devil pulls down Christians every day. The Bible says that the shield of faith can quench all the fiery darts of the enemy. Yet the devil pierces through and destroys Christians every day. The Bible says, if he be for us, who can be against us? Yet the devil destroys Christians every day. How? How does the devil defeat Christians in this situation? Two things: deceit and persistence. The devil never gives up, and the devil has many, many tricks up his sleeve. We don't have time to talk about all of them. Today we're just going to talk about one trick in particular that he's been using persistently and consistently to destroy Christians since the beginning of time. This trick is so subtle, so sneaky, so insidious that he has Christians thinking they are becoming more spiritual when they're actually becoming more sinful. He has Christians thinking they're becoming more Christ-like when they're actually becoming more like the devil himself. He has Christians thinking they're prophesying and professing the word of God, and they're practicing divination and witchcraft. So, what is this trick? How is it that the devil is able to use this trick to destroy so many Christians? How can we recognize this trick? How can we make sure we have the victory? And possibly more importantly, has he already used this trick on you? Have you already been deceived? If so, how can you still gain the victory? This is what we'll be learning today. But first, and then this is where I would now greet the visitors and pray and all that. But that basically was starting an introduction with a historical story, and then bringing it to what has to do with Christianity. With a historical story, there's always the challenge that possibly the people already know the story. And the way to defeat that challenge, overcome that challenge, is the same as with any story. Use intrigue. Don't start off telling exactly who the people are or the situation or whatever it is you're talking about. Start off with something that describing the situation, but not giving all the clues. Again, how did I start? Those of you who were here, how did I start today? What was the first words out of my mouth? Do you remember? Banga, banga. Even before I mentioned the Romans, I talked about the tension in the air. Okay? It's always good whenever you can to start your introduction with some type of tension. And in this case, I specifically mentioned that the tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. And then building up intrigue, because then people start wondering, why is all this tension? From there, I set the scene. And again, what's it called? Let me go. There we go. Let me go back. This again, in switch, I set the scene. I talked about how the tension was in there, was so thick, and that there was a northern kingdom and a southern kingdom. put in a little bit of wackiness, talking about how my dog reacted to seeing the horse and how the horses probably would have reacted seeing the elephants. But then still had some intrigue, because I didn't tell you at first I was talking about the Romans and the Carthaginians. At first, you kind of wonder, well, who's he talking about? And then there was the twist. If I'm talking to a bunch of Christians and I talk about the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, what do you think most Christians are going to think I'm talking about? Israel. I wasn't talking anything about Israel. That's where the twist came. Now all of a sudden, he's not talking about it. He's talking about Hannibal. And a lot of people have heard the history or the story of Hannibal. Some are more familiar with it than others, but most adults, have heard about Hannibal crossing the Alps. Some people, that's all they know. They've heard Hannibal crossing the Alps. They don't really know much more. To be honest, before I started teaching third grade, I didn't know much more about it. It was a reading. It was a reading we had to do in English class. I read about. I was like, oh, and I was surprised at Rome won when I found out what Hannibal did. And it really did surprise us. I was like, wow, did Rome win? And it even said that they used trickery, and then that made me think about how the devil does us. I was like, this would be a good introduction to preaching, because this is what we find ourselves. We have superior weaponry, superior allies, superior weapons and all that. Yet the devil's always defeating Christians. It shouldn't be like that. And why? Because he tricks them, just like the Romans tricked the Carthaginians. Then I compelled people to continue to listen, by asking the questions. What is this trick that the devil uses? And I never did tell what the trick is. I tell that during the body of the sermon, to help keep the intrigue. But then compel, what is this trick? Why is it so powerful? How is it that he uses? When can we see it? Have you already been tricked? Different introduction should have all these elements, except sometimes weaving in wackiness is not always necessary. But different ones will have different strengths. This one, I believe that compelling them to continue listening was the strength on this one, because it's talking about how the devil tricks Christians every day, and then has he tricked us? And people really want to know. When I gave this, the pastor was out on a mission trip, and pastor's wife was here, and she talked to the pastor, told her that it was a really good sermon, and he came to me and told me afterwards that Marsha really liked that sermon you preached on Sunday, when he got back. And then once you do all that, H again is not something you do, it's the result. You have them hooked for the whole sermon. And again, the Valentine's law of engagement comes in, where once you have them hooked, once you have their minds engaged, they're much more likely to continue to be engaged, and much more likely to continue to be engaged and continue to be listening. All right. And I want to go back. Okay. And again, last week I told you there are things that when I first get the mic that I don't do. And it's not that you can't do them, but rather this is what has brought me to my preaching to a higher level, by not doing these things. But then I remember there was one other things I don't do. Like again, I don't introduce myself, I don't welcome the visitors, I don't do announcements, I don't pray. But another thing I don't do that I used to do, and that other preachers still do, I don't review. Not during my introduction. I will sometimes, ya yo voy a empezar. No hay buenos días hay americano. Venga, traductor. See, I forget that you're gringo because you look so Hispanic, man. I forget you're gringo. He like, sorry. Yo, durante la introducción, yo no repaso.
Todo es en inglés.
Yes, I'm going to speak in English. During the introduction, I don't review.
Y otro dice,
Okay.
you don't review
I don't review during the introduction.
from the previous week.
Yeah. Many times I have sermons that are 2 or 3 weeks.
Muchas veces tengo sermones que son para 2 o 3 semanas.
And the second or third week,
Y en la segunda o tercera semana
I do not review during my introduction.
no reviso lo de la semana anterior durante la introducción.
Sometimes I will review after the introduction.
A veces reviso la semana pasada, pero después de la introducción.
And when I do that, I just say, oh, I'm just doing a Pastor Terry.
Y cuando lo hago así, digo, estoy haciendo lo que hace el pastor Terry.
I'm giving the introduction to the introduction.
Primero voy a hacer una introducción a la introducción.
And then after doing all of this other things,
Y luego de hacer todos estos pasos,
then I'll review, and that would be like my introduction.
entonces reviso lo de la semana pasada y es una manera de introducción.
The reason I don't review during my introduction
La razón por la cual no reviso la introducción
is it doesn't captivate anyone's attention.
es porque eso no cautiva la atención de nadie.
People who were there already know what I
La
talked
gente
about
que
last
está
week,
allí ya sabe lo que pasó la semana pasada
and it doesn't really catch their attention.
y realmente no les agarra la atención.
And I've also noticed sometimes it can even turn the people off.
Y también he notado que a veces inclusive hace que la gente se apague.
This happened to me.
Eso me ha pasado a mí.
I was watching a service online one time.
Estaba viendo un servicio en línea en una ocasión.
The preacher was not the pastor,
El predicador no era el pastor
and I used to do this.
y yo solía hacer eso.
During his introduction,
Durante la introducción,
he kept mentioning how the pastor's been teaching on this and
seguía
preaching on that.
mencionando cómo el pastor había estado enseñando sobre esos temas.
Pastor said this,
O lo que el pastor
pastor
había
taught
dicho,
us
lo que el
that.
pastor nos había enseñado.
And I was sitting there thinking,
Y yo estaba sentado pensando,
then why don't I just listen to your pastor?
¿por qué no entonces escuchaba mejor a su pastor?
Why am I listening to you?
¿Por qué estoy escuchando a usted?
Why am I watching this?
¿Por qué estoy mirando esto?
But I had already listened to the pastor's sermons.
Los sermones del pastor.
And I was tempted to stop watching that church
Y
service.
estuve tentado a parar de ver ese servicio.
In fact, I had to force myself to watch his
Tuve que
introduction.
esforzarme para ver esa introducción.
I think that some people do that because it's also like giving an honor to his past,
Yeah.
and also to give a recognition of what the pastor have doing.
Y mucha gente lo hace para
Yes.
honrar al pastor y para reconocer lo que el pastor
I mean, I understand.
To be careful to put first the techniques instead to put first what really God wants with what the authority and the honor is, because I think the techniques are very good and keep the people captive. But if they don't realize that the most important is what the Holy Spirit is gonna do through the authority of what the pastor do, and be myself on the
Si quieres puedo
authority.
traducir.
Perdón. No, pero eso es en inglés. Do you understand my English, yeah? But no, it's not past and it's not that, like...
Eres really
Yeah, good idea. ¿Sí entiendes, verdad? Sí, sí, sí.
Okay.
Yeah, because no, porque no, yeah.
All right.
I don't know, I get your point because you keep the, but also sometimes I do it on purpose because I also want to make recognition of who's my authority.
Yes. I'm going to get to what I do now in order to have both of those things.
But you're talking specifically, are we still addressing the introduction? Or
Yes.
For the body. So the introduction is really,
Yes,
So you're talking more introduction.
just in the introduction. Yes. And again, I forced myself to listen to that preacher.
Para escuchar esa predicación.
And I decided I don't want to be a preacher that people have to force themselves to listen to.
Y decidí que yo no quería ser un predicador que tuviera que la gente que esforzarse para escucharme.
And I hope you don't want to be a preacher that people feel they have to
Y espero
force
que
themselves to listen to.
Pocos quieran ser un predicador que haga que la gente tenga que esforzarse para poder escuchar.
At least that's what I hope. And so what I do,
Pero que lo que yo hago,
most of my sermons
la mayoría de mis sermones,
I get from something that the pastor said,
tomo de algo que el pastor ha dicho,
but he wasn't able to fully develop.
pero él no pudo desarrollarlo completamente.
And so I study it
Entonces yo lo estudio
and I end up preaching on that.
y termino predicando sobre
And
eso.
so it's something pastor was talking about.
Entonces es algo de lo cual el pastor ya ha hablado.
And so after my introduction
Y después de la introducción
and after I do all these other things
y hacer todos esos puntos
and during my body,
Entonces, what?
Durante el cuerpo.
Durante el cuerpo,
I talk about pastor has said this or pastor
hablo acerca de cómo
Yeah.
el pastor ha hablado sobre ese tema anteriormente.
because it is important for the people to know that I didn't just come out of left field somewhere or locura or
By the way, in some churches, the pastor asks to the guest speaker what to preach. That also make some people make those connections. For example, the topic of this month is because we talk about the Holy Spirit, the authority. Then that's why when the people was invite somebody, they do that too. I mean, I talk it just in general. You said about the captivate.
Dice que en general cuando el pastor está predicando sobre una serie e invita a alguien que predique en lugar de él, le pide que predique dentro de ese mismo tema que él ha estado desarrollando.
Mucho, en muchos lugares. Aquí no. Pero bueno.
Bueno, por hermosos lugares, sí.
all right. All right. And so basically that way, leave that for after the introduction and you'll still be able to honor the pastor.
Esa
And-
parte de honrar al pastor se lo deja para después de la introducción
And you'll still be able to captivate the audience attention.
y no pierde la oportunidad de cautivar la atención de la gente.
All right. You can also start with a fictional story.
También puedes empezar con una historia que sea ficción, inventada.
And I'm not going to give all the full examples of every story now. I like to start with
Y no voy a dar todos los ejemplos de cada tipo de historia
because of time.
por cuestión de tiempo.
But in a fictional story, an example I have,
Pero una historia ficticia, por ejemplo, que yo tengo,
I remember once preaching where I told the story of Taken, the movie Taken.
predicando, le conté la historia acerca de la película Taken.
And I started, I'm talking about how the father was telling the daughter, no,
Y le estaba comenzando explicando de cómo el padre le decía a la hija que no lo hiciera,
but the daughter finally convinced the father to permit her to do this.
pero la hija convenció de que le permitiera hacer eso.
And then what the daughter wanted to do was go off to Paris with just her friend and nobody
Y
else.
la hija se fue a París solamente con una amiga.
And the father was very concerned that it was very dangerous
El papá estaba preocupado de que era algo muy peligroso,
for two young, attractive women to travel internationally.
que dos jóvenes atractivas viajaron internacionalmente solas.
And then he got a phone call from his daughter
Y luego él recibe una llamada de parte de su hija
that people had broken into her hotel room and they were about to abduct her.
que habían entrado a su hotel y le estaban secuestrándola a ella.
And then how he talks to the kidnappers.
Y él habla con los secuestradores
And he tells them, I have a very particular set of skills.
y le dice que yo tengo unas habilidades muy importantes,
Muy particulares. Muy particulares. Very important. Well, it's very important to the sermon. And I will find you and I will kill you.
y yo voy a pelear contigo y te voy a matar.
And then I asked, who knows where it is from? And there were people who knew it was from
Y
Taken.
luego pregunté a la gente y respondieron que era parte de la película Taken,
But then from there I go on how we are in the same situation.
pero luego explico que nosotros también estamos en la misma situación,
We are that young lady.
que nosotros somos de esa jovencita.
I'm not a young lady. What's that? What you mean? A little bit of a twist.
Esa jovencita que quiere decir.
But then talking about how God has told us not to do this, not to do the other thing, and
Pero luego la manera como Dios nos ha dicho que no hagamos una cosa, que no hagamos una
pero
otra,
somos,
pero somos cabeciduros.
and we go off and do what He told us not to do.
Y vamos y hacemos lo que Él nos ha dicho que no hagamos.
But just like the father in Taken went and saved his daughter, got his daughter
Pero así como el papá en la película Taken, que fue y salvó a su hija,
due to his particular set of skills,
porque él tiene un
un conjunto particular de habilidades.
popular de habilidades,
Jesus also had a particular set of skills.
también tiene unas habilidades particulares.
And the sermon was about how Jesus was the only one that could have fulfilled all the prophecies and done all
La
that.
manera de cómo Jesús era el único que tenía las capacidades particulares, de cumplir todo lo
He's very particular,
muy particulares.
but in how he saved us and all that. And that it was a fictional story, but
Y era una historia de ficción, pero no sé.
and it had all the elements of Switch.
y tenía todos los elementos para hacer el switch.
I set the scene. I don't think I had any wackiness in that one. Yeah, I don't think I had any humor in that one. But then I built up intrigue, had a twist,
Y empleó todos los elementos de switch, excepto que no había el elemento de humor.
and I don't think I had really compelled them because I didn't know all that I know about Switch now. I don't think I did the questions, asking them the
Y
questions.
en ese tiempo no empleó todos los elementos de la técnica de switch porque no conocía en esa época la técnica.
But then I did have them pretty hooked for the sermon.
Pero luego logró que estuvieran muy conectados en el sermón.
You could also start with a video story.
También puedes comenzar con una historia de un video.
Videos have their own challenges.
Los videos tienen sus propios retos.
In this church, if you're gonna use a video,
En esta iglesia, si usas un video,
you need to give Samuel time to set it up.
tienes que darle tiempo a Samuel para que lo prepare.
One time, pastor asked me to preach on a Friday night, he asked me.
Una vez el pastor le pidió a Valentín que predicara, lo dijo el viernes en la noche,
I had a video I wanted to show,
y él quería mostrar un video,
but couldn't.
pero no pudo.
So you have to be able to describe it then if you can't use the video,
Describirlo en lugar de usar el video.
which I did and it worked out fine.
Y así lo hizo Valentín y funcionó bien.
Okay, but then there's also other challenges in general with videos.
Pero también hay otros retos en general cuando usas videos.
There's always a possibility of there being technical difficulties,
Hay posibilidad de que hayan dificultades técnicas.
and so if you're going to use a video,
Y si vas a usar un video,
you have to be ready to describe what the video shows if you're not able to show.
tienes que estar preparado para describir lo que hay en el video en caso de que no puedas presentar el video.
Okay? There's another challenge with videos that people don't realize.
Otro reto con los videos que la gente no se da cuenta,
Videos are not as engaging as people think.
los videos realmente no conectan tanto a la gente como uno creyera.
People think, ooh, everyone's looking at the video.
La gente cree que todo el mundo va a estar viendo el video,
They're really captivated.
que están cautivados.
But psychologists have done studies,
Pero han hecho estudios los psicólogos
where they've put electrodes on people's heads as they were watching the video,
que colocan electrodos en la gente que está viendo videos
and another group who's listening to a
y
story.
otro grupo que están escuchando una historia.
And in a group where they're listening to the
El
story,
grupo que están escuchando la historia,
there's much more brain waves going on.
hay mucha más actividad de ondas cerebrales que los que están viendo el video.
Because as you're watching the video,
Cuando estás viendo el video,
it's just like all given to you.
es como que todo te lo dan.
And that's why even we talk about vegging out and watching Netflix.
¿Y qué es Bellinao?
Ser como vegetal.
Y para eso cuando ves net, estás ahí como un vegetal,
Because you're not using your brain as much.
porque no estás utilizando mucho tu cerebro.
Whereas if you're listening to a story,
Pero si estás escuchando una historia,
your brain is more engaged.
tu cerebro está más conectado.
And so I don't use videos as much as I used to, once I learned this.
Ahora Valentino usa tantos videos como usaba anteriormente.
When I do use a video,
Cuando usa videos,
I try to make it a very short video
trata de hacer que sean cortos
and follow it up with a story.
y sigue con una historia.
Here's an example of an example of one I used. No, not VeggieTales. Although I did use a VeggieTales one too.
Are you? They like that shit.
And you can't help but get people to laugh.
Y la gente hace que la gente se ría.
And this is a good way to start with weaving in wackiness.
Y esta es una manera de comenzar para que Watkins.
Wackiness es,
Graciosa.
sí,
Gracioso.
con algo gracioso. And usually a video, it should be something that you can't really do yourself, because I wasn't gonna do the worm there on the podium.
No puedes hacer.
You know, I wasn't gonna do the worm and all that on the podium. You know,
Entonces no puedes hacer eso como el gusano en el podio y entonces hacer el video.
but then from there, I started with a story.
Pero de ahí entonces comienza una historia.
I started talking about how, well, first about how this song has become a classic.
Y comienzo a hablar cómo esta canción se volvió una canción clásica
You know, how it has all different types of versions now.
y cómo hay diferentes versiones de esta canción
You know, and how it's in all different arenas of life now.
y está en diferentes esferas de la vida.
You know, it's obviously in all different types of media.
¿No?
It's obviously in all different types of
Y
media.
está también usado en diferentes tipos de medios de
You
comunicación.
know, here it's in a movie.
Aquí está en una película,
It's also in commercials and TV
en
shows,
comerciales, en shows de televisión,
other types of videos, music
tipos de
videos.
videos,
But it also got into the politics,
pero también está en la política.
which seems like that's a weird place for
Y
this.
parece un lugar extraño donde pueda estar.
But then I described 2 videos I saw about politics that had this song in
Hay
it.
dos videos acerca de política que también usan esta canción.
But then I really got to the twist. But now it's come up in the most unlikely of places,
Pero ahora se ha metido en los lugares menos probables
the Bible.
en la Biblia.
I'm like, what?
¿Cómo?
How you like me now in the Bible?
¿Cómo terminó en la Biblia?
How you like the Bible was written thousands of years ago.
Si la Biblia fue escrita hace miles de años,
The original version of How You Like Me Now was written in 1986.
la versión original fue escrita en 1986.
86. How's that in the Bible?
¿Cómo fue que terminó en la Biblia?
You know, and I talk about, actually, you know how nowadays it seems like every year there's a new version of the Bible coming out. There's
Y
new
ahora,
translation.
Cada año sacan una nueva versión de la Biblia
You know, and now there's the NVV.
y ahora está la NBB.
You know, and it's only online and app because it has, you know, multimedia like
Que
this.
solamente se encuentra en el internet y tiene ¿qué? ¿Videos?
Sí, tiene multimedia, video y audio y
Y
cosas
tiene
así.
videos y audio y multimedia.
Sí, so it's called the New Valentine version.
Y se llama la
La gente-
nueva versión de
And
Valentín.
at that point, they know
Y entonces
I'm
ya
making this
se dan
stuff
cuenta
up.
que se inventó esa historia.
But then, you know, I go into how basically, how you know, that was a twist, you know.
Ese es el truco que tiene.
You know. But then in the sermon, I talk about how, well, in the introduction, I also talked about why people say how you like me now.
¿Pivo qué?
Say how you like me now.
Dilo en español.
A ver,
¿Cómo la
también
gente dice, ¿cómo
yo
te
yo
gusta?
hablé de por qué la gente dice how you like me now. And it's because they feel that they've been disrespected.
Oh,
You know, and they feel that they've been, sienten que han sido minimizados o que la gente no le han dado su respeto correcto. And they want to show they're not a pushover. They're not someone you can just treat like that.
okay. I learned something.
Okay, muy bien. And actually, that's how people have throughout history have tried to treat God. And like the Pharaoh, when all the plagues came, he just kept thinking, this is just like all of our gods.
Como cuando el faraón vio todas las plagas y pensó que era solamente como o igual que hacían sus dioses.
And so God gave that 10th plague of killing all the firstborn
Y le dio la 10ª plaga matando a los primogénitos
to show he wasn't like the other gods.
para mostrarle que él no era como los otros dioses.
Telling him, how you like me now?
Y a ver qué tal, cómo estás ahora.
I forget that the Syrians, I think it was, they fought Israel. They fought Israel in the, I forget.
Era de una guerra que estabas hablando.
Yeah, they fought Israel, I think, in the valley, and got defeated. And then the captain said, "We'll fight them on the hills because their God is not a God of the hills."
Fue acá cuando la primera vez que ellos fueron
Okay.
acá.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, Ahab, the Lord has kind of have grace and mercy on him, and he gave the victory And then the enemy said, we are going to fight Ahab in the valley because his God is only the God of the east.
Up the hills, there we go. And then there's with
Dios le dio gracia acá, le dio la victoria. Y entonces el enemigo dijo, vamos a pelear con acá en el valle porque el Dios de los israelitas es solamente un Dios de la montaña.
and then God totally destroyed them in the valley, saying, how you like me now?
Y Dios aún en el valle los derrotó y entonces les dijo, a ver, ¿qué les parece ahora?
There we go. And I kept on with that. But basically it started out with the video,
Comenzó así con este video.
which helped get people's attention, but I didn't
Y
stop
eso
there.
ayudó a tener la atención de la gente,
But I didn't stop there. I continued with a story.
pero no paré allí, sino que continué con una historia.
You could start with a joke,
También puedes empezar con un chiste, una broma.
which is really a fictional story
Lo cual
with
realmente
a
es una
punchline.
historia de ficción.
I had one that I was going to do,
Yo tenía uno que iba a hacer
and then Brother Velas preached on what I was going to preach on.
y entonces yo prediqué de lo que él iba a predicar.
So I never did it.
¿De qué tema era?
Circumcision.
Oh, really?
Yeah, hace años. I had a joke that I heard from Pastor Tony Evans.
Tenía un chiste que había oído del pastor Tony Evans,
I was driving down the 30,
que iba manejando por el 30
heard that joke,
y escuchó
laughed and laughed. I was,
y se
wow,
rió
that was
mucho
fun.
con ese chiste.
Casi me choco.
Por estar escuchando el chiste.
But it was a good joke about circumcision.
Pero era una historia interesante, un buen chiste acerca de la circuncisión.
And then from there, I was planning on doing the twist and telling how the devil is converting Christians to Judaism.
Y quería decir cómo el diablo está haciendo buen trabajo convirtiendo que los cristianos se vuelvan.
Which seems weird, and how is he doing that and all that? And the whole sermon was about the false doctrine of the Hebrew Roots movement.
Y todo el sermón era la falsa doctrina del movimiento judaísta.
But he had preached on the circumcision like just right before, so I was like, nah, no. Digo. And so I never did that, but you could do that.
Pero puedes hacer eso.
But there's challenges with jokes.
Pero es difícil, hay retos cuando tú usas
One,
chistes.
it need to be funny.
What?
Tiene que ser chistoso. It needs to be funny. I've heard preachers tell some jokes. I'm like,
Porque
really?
los predicadores usan unos chistes que no son chistosos.
That's one thing. Also, it should not be a joke that many people have heard before.
Otro tiene que ser un chiste que no mucha gente haya escuchado.
Because if you can predict the punchline,
Porque si tú puedes predecir el final,
or if you've already heard it,
o si ya lo hayas escuchado,
it's not that funny.
no va a ser divertido.
Now, I must be different than a lot of people.
Tal vez yo soy diferente que mucha gente.
Because I hear jokes
Porque yo escucho chistes
where I can predict what the punchline is going to be,
que yo puedo predecir cómo va a ser el final.
and I know other people can too,
Y yo sé que otra gente puede también.
and I don't laugh.
Y yo no me río.
Not because I stop myself from laughing, because once I can predict the punchline, it's just not
No
funny to
porque
me.
yo me refrene para no reírme, sino porque yo ya podía predecir cómo iba a ser el final.
Yet I hear a bunch of other people laughing.
Y hay mucha gente que la veo riéndose.
I just must be different.
Y tal vez yo soy
Because if I can predict the punchline, it's just not funny to
Yo
me.
puedo predecir para dónde va a ser el final y ya no es chistoso.
And that's an challenge with jokes,
Y ese es el reto cuando usas chistes.
because there'll be people in the congregation like me
Porque puede que haya mucha gente en la congregación que sea igual que Valentín.
that if they can predict it, they're not gonna laugh, and it's just not funny.
No va a ser chistoso.
Another challenge is it needs to be appropriate for church,
Otro reto es que
because there are some jokes out there.
que sea apropiado para la iglesia.
There are some jokes out there that,
Hay chistes que,
yes, but
beyond the borderline.
But you can't start with a joke. And another thing, it needs to really go well with what you're going to preach about. It needs to lead
Puedes
into what you're going to
comenzar
preach
con un
about.
chiste, pero tiene que ser un chiste que ande en la misma línea en lo que vas a predicar.
If not, then it doesn't really make any sense.
No un chiste que no tenga nada que ver con lo que vas a predicar.
All right. Then there are other introductions.
Ahora hay otras introducciones.
which use the elements of storytelling,
que usa elementos,
though they may
de
not
contar
exactly be
historias,
stories.
aunque no exactamente sean historias.
We learned about one already, which was the shocking fact.
Ya aprendimos de una de esas técnicas que es cuando hay hechos que son impactantes.
Okay, let me here real quick. See one. Hello? Nada. Oh, yeah, this is not. Oh, there we go. Here we go. I want to see what time here, how much is it? Oh, less than 20 minutes. Okay, yeah, because I got to do that. Okay. Like I started with this once.
Como comencé este,
Did you know there's no such thing as cold?
saben que realmente el frío no existe.
Cold does not exist.
El frío no existe.
That's a weird statement.
Eso realmente es raro que digas eso,
I mean, it seems to go against all common sense.
porque va en contra de todo sentido común,
Seems to go against even the most basic of science.
inclusive en contra de la ciencia más básica.
I've taught almost all the elementary grades.
Yo he enseñado casi todos los cursos de la escuela primaria.
In kindergarten, we teach about hot, warm, cool, and cold.
Y en el kinder hablamos de las diferentes temperaturas, del frío, de lo tibio, lo caliente.
And, we teach the kids that 60 degrees is not cold.
Y le enseñamos a los niños que 60 grados no es frío.
I know Pastor doesn't believe that Hispanics have taught that. we teach the kids that 60 degrees is not cold.
Pero se enseña que 60 grados no es frío.
But we teach them what cold is.
Pero le enseñamos el concepto de lo que es el frío.
So who would say there is no such thing as cold?
Entonces, ¿quién es el que dice que no existe el frío?
Scientists.
Los científicos.
If you take a scientist
Si tú tomas a un científico
to Alaska to study the glaciers
a Alaska a estudiar los glaciares
and leave him out there in his underwear,
y lo dejas allí en interiores,
he will still tell you
él todavía te va a decir,
there is no such thing as cold.
no existe lo que llaman frío.
If you take him down to the South Pole to study penguins
Y si los llevas al polo sur a ver los pingüinos
and leave him out there in his bathing suit,
y lo dejas allí en traje de baño,
he'll still tell you
todavía te va a decir
cold does not exist.
que el frío no existe.
And you'll be like, Mr. Scientist,
Y tú le dirías, señor científico,
all your fingers have frostbite.
todos sus dedos los tienen congelados,
There's icicles hanging from your nose.
le están saliendo, los mocos se devolvieron hielo.
Así también dijo Kitty when she was translating. She was like, los mocos se comieron en hielo. I was like, yeah, your boogers have frozen. I like that better.
Los mocos se convirtieron en hielo.
How are you going to say there's no such thing as cold?
¿Cómo vas a decir que no existe el hielo?
And then he'll explain
Y luego él explica
that there is no cold.
que no existe el frío,
There are only different degrees of heat.
que solamente son diferentes grados de calor.
And when someone says it's cold,
Y cuando alguien dice que está frío,
what they're really saying is there's less heat than they would like.
lo que está diciendo que hay menos calor del que ellos quisieran.
Because every star in the universe produces heat.
Porque toda estrella en el universo produce calor.
And there is not 1 inch in this universe
Y no hay una sola pulgada del universo
where there is no heat.
donde no haya calor.
Scientists have tried to create in a lab no heat.
Los científicos han tratado de crear en el laboratorio la ausencia del calor
We measure heat in 3 different scales:
y medimos el calor en 3 estados diferentes.
Fahrenheit, Celsius, and in theory, Kelvin.
En 3 diferentes sistemas, que es los Celsius, los Fahrenheit y en teoría en los grados Kelvin.
And I say in theory Kelvin
Y digo en teoría los Kelvin
because 0 degrees Kelvin is absolute cold.
porque el 0 de Kelvin es el absolutamente frío
Where there's no heat whatsoever.
y realmente no existe.
There's no place in the universe that's 0 degrees Kelvin.
No hay lugar, ningún sitio en el universo que tenga 0 grados Kelvin de temperatura.
Scientists have tried to create 0 degrees Kelvin in a lab,
Y los científicos han tratado de crear en el laboratorio temperaturas de 0 grados centígrados
And they could
grados
not.
Kelvin y no han podido.
Because not only do all stars produce heat,
No solamente porque todas las estrellas producen calor,
but all matter also produces heat.
sino que toda materia produce calor.
So there is no cold.
Entonces no existe el
There's
frío,
only heat.
solamente calor.
You know, and then fast forward a little bit down when I got to the twist, I talked about how, and intrigue and twist, how whether if you believe all that, it doesn't matter. It's not going to change anything you do in your daily life.
Y luego ya haciendo el PRI les expliqué que aunque tú creas todas esas cosas, no va a cambiar nada en tu vida.
So I didn't come to try to convince you of that.
Entonces yo no vine a tratar de convencerlos de eso,
I came to convince you of a different saying,
vine a
different
convencerte
statement.
de unas aseveraciones diferentes.
that if you would believe this statement,
Que si tú crees estas aseveraciones,
it will change your life.
va a cambiar tu vida,
It will change your
va
relationships.
a cambiar tus
It
relaciones
will change everything about
y va a
about
cambiar
you,
todo
about you.
acerca de ti.
And what is this statement?
¿Y cuál es ese enunciado?
Just like to the scientists, there is no cold.
Así como para los científicos no existe el frío,
To the Christian, there is no evil.
para los cristianos no existe el mal.
What?
¿Cómo?
That's anti-biblical.
Y dice, no, eso es en contra de la Biblia.
The Bible talks about being able to resist in the evil day.
La Biblia dice que hay que resistir al maligno
No, the evil day, el día malo.
y resistir en el día malo.
Talks about the devil being the evil one.
Y habla de que el diablo es el maligno.
Talks about people having evil hearts.
Y habla que la gente tiene pensamientos malos.
How you gonna say there's no evil?
¿Cómo vas a decir que no existe la maldad en la Biblia?
Well, let me explain.
Pero déjenme explicarles.
You know, but first, and then I'd go and then I do the welcoming the visitors and all that,
Entonces luego hago la introducción y presento a los visitantes, etcétera.
etc. And so, whoops, well, I got audience participation up here. That's, whoops, hello. There we go. Not an audience. Yeah, the shocking fact. So I use the shocking fact, and then from there go into elements of a story. I talk about like if you would take a scientist to the North Pole or to the South Pole or Alaska and all this.
No entendí.
After the shocking fact, I use elements of a story.
Después de estos hechos que impactan, entro los elementos de la historia,
You know, and where I do set a scene,
en donde coloco el escenario
I do use intrigue,
y uso la intriga
bring in a twist,
y traigo el twist
and compel them to continue listening.
y los motivo a que sigan escuchando.
Okay? And so a shocking fact is good to start if you have a story to back it up after you finish this fact.
Ese hecho que los impacta es bueno para comenzar.
Next is audience participation.
Lo otro es hacer que la audiencia participe.
This I did once. I decided I'm going to try this.
Y se voy a intentar eso.
And it in itself was a twist
Y realmente era como un twist, un truco.
because normally I don't start, say hello, how you guys doing, and stuff like that.
Porque normalmente no comienzo diciendo, hola, ¿cómo están? Buenos días.
But I did this time,
Pero esta vez sí lo hice.
which in itself was kind of a twist because it's like, what is he doing?
Así no es como Valentín empieza sus prédicas.
Y hasta ahí just starts talking.
Normalmente sube aquí, no saluda, solo empieza a predicar.
Well, today, we're going to be something different.
Pero hoy vamos a decir algo que perece.
Today, I need audience participation.
Hoy necesito que participen los de la congregación.
My first victims?
Mi primera víctima, José,
Oh,
toda esta rifida, parte para empresa. Y una vida hacia la todos.
this next row.
Esta siguiente pilas también, Alicia Street right here.
And come forward a little more.
Si quieren acercarse un poquito más.
So yeah, forward. Like, yeah, like where you are. I can line it with here so everyone's straight up.
Próxima vez, puras víctimas, pure victims.
You got your dad in there.
Yeah, oh yeah. He wasn't having it though.
Yeah, I can tell you.
Oye, lo leete a Dios,
Eso, boricua, pao, eso lo hace bueno.
Yeah. That's a big. Like, you got it. That's something for me.
And at this point, everyone's wondering, what's he doing?
Y hasta este punto la gente está preguntándose qué es lo que está haciendo.
And those, especially those who are in the front, they're like, man, what is it gonna have me do?
Y ahí en medio estoy pensando qué es lo que me va a hacer que yo haga.
So fair.
Voy a comenzar y primero le voy a dar un mensaje a Kelly
And she is done up.
y ella le va a dar ese mensaje a la siguiente persona y van a seguir.
All of you get the message, but you relay it to the next person. Exactly as you receive.
Exactly as you received the message. Was I clear? Was it exactly as you received it?
Le dije que el mensaje lo transmitieran exactamente igual como lo recibiera.
Posible.
And that was the point. Imposible.
Face that wall.
Y que todos miren al lado de esa pared.
Yes, buddy.
Your dad's probably figuring.
I tried, Lord, I tried.
So, el mensaje que la persona de atrás te dé, tú se lo vas a dar a la persona de enfrente.
She's like, what? Yeah, I really got like, No le hice exacto como yo lo hice.
Empezó mal, empezó mal.
Like, I don't know. Ella está cargando un bebé, ¿verdad?
Estaba pensando en la barriga que venía el bebé.
Por
que
eso.
venía el bebé.
Por eso. Yeah, él sí estaba yo haciendo el bebé. Para él ya va muy rápido, ya el bebé se despertar. Ya se marear.
Llega ya el shaking ese.
You're like, I don't know. Ya le arruinó el coche.
Estoy dirigiendo la orquesta. Y dirigiendo la orquesta.
Y el clutch ya se desapareció.
He does inside.
Yeah. No one transmits it the way they received it, which was the point.
Es lo que la.
Ya, Juanita dice, no le está viendo.
La que muere ya.
Ya me quiero voltear, o sea, dice. Tell me, he wasn't having it. He like, nah. He like, homie, don't play that. He like, homie, don't play that. He got like, I'm out.
A ver, sale, a ver si agarró el mensaje. No, pues, que ella-
Yeah, exactly.
Ella va así.
Ya está.
La acordeón, gracias.
Sí. O el maestro. Así está.
No, pues no. Wow.
Oye, qué un beso.
Es que algunos creen, dije mensaje, creía que iba a oír algo. Hasta Angélica me preguntó, ¿va a ser en inglés o en español? Mira, va a ser sin palabras. He looking like, what? And I have him show Angelica the message that she gave or that she received.
Les tiro un hilo nomás.
Okay. And then from there, I went into how the Jesus seminar has said that only about 1/6 of what's recorded in the Bibles is true because of this phenomenon called the telephone game phenomenon. They say that it passed through generations and generations and it changed so much
Por
that
eso dicen que solamente 1/6 de lo que está escrito en la Biblia es lo que realmente pasó porque fue transmitido de generación en generación.
you know, and that it's been changed and that he didn't feed 5,000.
Y que ha cambiado, que realmente él no alimentó 5,000,
He didn't raise Lazarus.
que él no resucitó a Lázaro,
He didn't raise from the dead himself.
que no se levantó él mismo de la muerte,
Just like some of the things he taught was true,
que tantas cosas que él enseñó que no son
but
verdad.
all those miracles were just myths that came
Que
over
los
time.
milagros, pero solamente mitos o leyendas.
You know, but then I taught how basically the word of God is not subject to natural phenomenon like this
Pero
because
luego
it's the,
expliqué que la palabra de Dios no está sujeta al cambio para los fenómenos naturales,
because it's the supernatural miracle working power of God.
porque es el poder milagroso sobrenatural de Dios trabajando en la palabra.
All right, and last two real quick. You could start with a song.
También puedes empezar con una canción.
You know, I have an idea of starting one that where I've been studying the having faith like a mustard seed,
Y he pensado la idea de usar la canción que dice que tener fe como un grano de mostaza.
which most people mean that thing you only need a little bit of faith.
Y mucha gente cree que solamente necesita una pequeña cantidad de fe.
Yet, whenever Jesus talked about little faith,
Pero cuando Jesús explicó acerca de la pequeña fe,
it was always a rebuke.
siempre era regañándolos.
Yeah, you have little faith.
Dice, hombres de poca fe.
And the only time he complimented people on their faith
Y la única vez que él los felicitó acerca de la fe,
was 2 times, and he said both times he said they had great
y
faith.
esas 2 veces él les dijo que habían tenido grande fe.
You know, so basically, you know, we would sing the song, si tuviera fe como un grano de mostaza,
Entonces, cuando cantamos la canción, que si tuviéramos fe como un grano de mostaza,
but then the twist would come, you know, what does that mean?
pero luego el truco es entonces qué es lo que quiere decir.
And if it means just a little bit of faith, then why did Jesus rebuke his disciples for having a little bit
Si
of faith?
realmente quiere decir que es un pequeño grano de mostaza, porque Jesús los regañaba cuando tenían la fe tan pequeña.
And the last thing you could do is start with a prop. I've never done this.
¿Qué es un prop?
A prop, una cosita, un objeto que muestra lo que está hablando.
Ok, un objeto que muestra lo que está hablando.
Okay, I have, like, I've used props, like I've used a fork.
Accesorio.
Okay, that's
Un
it.
accesorio, ¿no?
I've used a fork and shown that during my sermon, you know, where I talked about if you were to take this fork
Eso he usado, por ejemplo, un tenedor y
And
algo
I've actually
que
had the fork.
Usas ese tenedor
and you were to tell your toddler, 2 or 3-year-old son or daughter,
y le dices a tu hijo o hija de 2, 3 años de edad,
you see this fork?
le dices, mira este tenedor,
You see that socket?
ves ese toma eléctrico,
Do not put this fork in that socket.
no coloques este tenedor en esa salida eléctrica, enchufe.
Then leave the fork there and leave the room.
Y si tú dejas el tenedor allí y te vas,
I dare you.
yo te prometo,
No, I dare you.
yo te aseguro,
No, te reto.
te reto,
Te reto. How many of you would do it?
que cuántos lo harían.
A mí, si está chiquito lo vas
No,
a
I
hacer.
mean you as a parent.
Oh, no, no.
Como padre no harías eso,
You know, because you know what's going to happen.
porque tú sabes lo que va a pasar.
And from there, I get into our sin nature. You know, use that basically to. I didn't use that at the very beginning though, but I'm thinking that's something you could do at the very beginning is use a prop.
Y es algo que puedes usar en el principio, en la introducción, utilizando un accesorio,
Una propuesta.
Igual, si usamos con los niños.
Yes.
En mis pequeños casi siempre tenemos rock.
Okay, and then follow it up with something that has story elements.
Y entonces sigue con algo que tenga elementos de la historia.
Muy bien, and that's our time for today.
Y se acabó el tiempo de hoy.
Bien. Next time will be the last basic presentation.
Es la última presentación.
After that,
Y después de eso,
what I need is for you guys to come with sermons or ideas for sermons
necesito que traigan sermones o ideas para preparar sermones
that we will work on together,
que
kind
podamos
of
trabajar juntos
like a workshop,
como un taller.
to try to improve the introduction
De mejorar la introducción,
and improve some of the points in the
mejorar
sermon.
algunos de los puntos del sermón.
You know, and so again, next time we'll be talking about the sermon body and the conclusion.
La próxima vez vamos a estar hablando del cuerpo del sermón y la conclusión.
But you know, we had 3 classes just on the introduction.
Pero fueron 3 semanas en la introducción.
Next class will be 1 class on the body and conclusion,
Y la próxima clase va a ser el cuerpo y la conclusión,
because the introduction is that important.
porque la introducción es muy importante.
You know, the introduction is normally what I finish last.
La introducción es lo que termino de último.
Yeah, when I'm preparing a sermon, usually the introduction is what I finish last.
Estoy preparando el sermón.
And it's something I think some preachers kind of neglect and don't give as much importance
Y
to
es algo
as they
que
should.
algunas veces los predicadores no le dan suficiente importancia.